All right. Okay. Oh man. Let's see. Bam, bam, ba-dang. This, this, this. The All right. Good morning. Good morning. What's going on, everybody? It's another episode of the Topcast. We just chugging along. Another week. More news. Actually, this week is got a lot going on. Got a lot going on this week. it's a lot to talk about that is really interesting. Of course, I'm your host, Tack. We will be flying solo today for the time being. Um, but like I said, there is a lot to talk about today, and there's some breaking news that actually was just announced earlier this morning, which I think you'll be really surprised. But let's go ahead and switch. Oh, my display isn't working. Display capture. There we go. All right. So as you can see, last week wasn't really as busy as it normally is, but this week we got a lot. Got a lot, and we're going ahead and start off, with the FGC people, the people that like fighting games. Spawn was announced 3 days ago for Mortal Kombat 11. So we'll go ahead and watch this trailer here. I've been a huge Spawn fan, so I think this is good. I won't play the character because I'm not really a big FGC guy, but let's watch this and see what they have going on. They show any kind of special moves. Play this. Hey, Scorpion.
Together, we can purge the 10 hells.
Only if you follow my lead.
All due respect, that's not in the cards.
Fight!
Okay. You got his gun. Ultimate move gun. Jesus. Hold on. What's going on? We got buffering. We got buffering, boys. Let me pause it real quick. Let me get out of it. Oh, yep. See, there it goes. All right. Come on. Okay. Well, while that's going on, any of you guys that are anime fans, Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross just released, I think about a week ago. It's actually pretty good. I've been enjoying it. It's a good little mobile game. If you haven't tried it, I would test it. They have real-time PvP, so you're not you're not sitting there going against a AI comp or whatever. What's going on, Wolf? How you doing? So we have that. And so let's just finish this trailer, and then I will bring on one people that is typically on the show. Finish this real quick. That was kind of nice. Oh, he has the... Oh my goodness, he actually has the glide? Okay. Oh, Jesus. They gonna show a fatality in this? He turns invisible? That's kind of broken. Jesus. Oh, the machine guns. Okay. What was that, a power-up? Jesus. Okay, this character's kind of lit. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's a good addition. I didn't really get the chance to... I saw some of the Joker. Oh, my goodness. Is that the fatality? Oh, my. Oh, this is the fatality. Okay, let's see what it's about. What you got? Wraps him up in chains. Constricts him. Oh, okay. Rips off his flesh.
Fatality.
Yo. Okay, so Spawn is that dude. So yeah, all you FGC guys, enjoy that character because he looks lit. Like his moves were kind of lit. His moves were very true to character. I wonder if they'll put what's his face? What's the clown dude? Oh my goodness. I can't think of his name right now, but the clown one that's in Spawn, I think he'd be a good character to have. Just 2 characters from Spawn. Wouldn't want a whole bunch from that. But yeah, that's the Spawn trailer. If you need to get the link or you just want to Violator, there you go. Thank you. Um, if you need the link, it'll be in this description so you can watch it. Also, you can just type it out. But that was one thing I thought that was pretty neat. Like I said, I've been a big Spawn fan. I wish they would do a Spawn remake with today's technology and everything, because I think it'd be a really good movie. But give me 1 second. Let me bring on one of the homies.
Okay,
Yep.
there we go. What's up? What's up?
What's going on?
Yo, I just saw you watching that Spawn trailer, and bruh.
What? Yeah, I know it's lit. The Spawn trailer
Yeah,
is lit.
yeah,
It was
man.
really
Like
good.
I'm a big Spawn fan, and I haven't played this. I haven't played this Mortal Kombat. You know, I like to buy fighting games that I have people to fight that I know, so I can get some casuals in whenever I feel like. But just when I saw that dude there, I was like, man, I might have to catch this on the Steam sale just so I could play Spawn, man. Because they even got Keith David to come back and do the voice for him. So yeah, Todd McFarlane, they went over the top and they asked him, what should we do? How do you feel about it? He's like, nah, go farther. So they make the fatality even more gory. And I was like, that's exactly what you gotta do. Like they gave you exactly what you wanted from him. Like perfect.
Right. Yeah, it was like I said, it was a good trailer. I did enjoy the animations. They were very true to form. I mean, especially when it brought out the machine guns, I was like, okay, that's very Spawn, 100%.
Yeah.
But how you doing, man? You doing all right, Sleep? You doing good?
Yeah, man, I'm all right. It's a little late this morning. I had to get all this dang recycling out. We've been doing spring cleaning on like for the last 2 weeks, just getting as much stuff out of here so we can get it done before the baby gets here, you know. So
Okay. Would you did you have anything on the docket? I know you were there was something you
oh
wanted to bring
yo,
up.
there was yeah, all right. So one, NFL 2K is coming back. Madden still has the exclusive license, however, for the NFL, but NFL 2K is coming back. We haven't had a 2K game, I think, since '05, because in '06, Madden got scared and just said, we buying the license.
Basically, that's
So,
pretty much how it is. I don't think it's going to be the from what the article was saying. I don't think it's going to be the sim like Madden is, but I'm curious to see how they're going to go about making game
yeah, I
per
don't think
se.
you're going to be able to go through the season just simulating running a team and all that kind of stuff. But if they bring back, like, just the little touches they had, because I remember in 2K, they used to have, like, a halftime show
Right.
in the game, and it would actually show highlights and have like I think it was Chris Berman sitting there like talking about your characters and the team. I was like, yo, that's if they bring little stuff like that back, they don't even need to go back to that. They'll be fine.
Do you think Chris Berman will be? Well, do you think they'll be tied up with ESPN again? And ESPN will jump back in with them to do what they did before.
I mean, if they do, then it just makes money for ESPN, right?
Right.
Because 2K is kind of like one of those legendary games. Like all they gotta do is not F up, which is pretty straightforward, and they know what they're doing as far as making a sports game, you know? Because their basketball game has essentially been the only basketball game, and live is still there. Like the NBA didn't give EA an exclusive license like the NFL did, and 2K basketball just essentially killed EA's game.
Right. I mean, but
It's
2K's
been
been maybe.
around forever, and yeah, they've been around forever, and they just on some years they just don't make a game because they don't sell enough copies to justify it.
I mean, 2K has
So
always been a good company. I think just based off of the nostalgia and the fan base that they had previously, they're going to do pretty well. They just need to, like you said, not f it up. 2K
I
partnered with
mean,
Vince McMahon to launch a video game for it. That would be pretty lit. I mean, XFL. I mean, it would kind of feel like it'd be too close to. They might take it over the top and make it too close to Blitz, NFL Blitz.
mm,
But
I get you. I get you.
that would be the only danger I would see with them partnering with the XFL, because they want to draw attention to it or whatever, so they might make it over the top.
I
Um,
don't know. Have you actually watched the XFL games this
I've
season?
been watching them. I've been watching a couple of them. They're really good. They're really good.
Yeah, yeah.
The
Friend of mine
tempo
went to a
is
Roughnecks game here in Houston and said, it was legit.
like the tempo. It's a lot faster. You don't have to sit there for 3 hours. For you don't have to sit there for 3 hours to wait for a game to finish. Essentially,
Yeah.
but
Well,
but
this is definitely a subject that I would like. I'm not that big on 2K, but I used to watch squash play all the time. So that's one that he would be able to shed some light on as far as how good that series was and w- potentially what they could do to bring it back and make it successful.
mm, yeah. I mean, yeah, we'll have to we'll probably bring him on before we end the show to get his thoughts on it. I mean, if anything. But I wanted there's something I wanted to ask you because I know you're a league dude. Did you see this announcement about the the autofill feature for League? How they're
Oh
changing it?
man, yes, I did. And I actually talked about it with Tesnum for a few minutes last night before I got off. But that's gonna be interesting. Autofill parity, making the queue times a little longer is like meh, whatever for me. I don't care about that because if you play roles like support, what I'm saying, that or jungle, the spots nobody wants, it pops up really fast. Anyway, it's the people who only play, you know, DPS jobs and then hop in the top mid and ADC. Those are the ones with the longer times.
Mm,
So for the rest of us, it's whatever. Like our queues be slightly slower, but what's 45 seconds compared to 30 seconds, whatever. But that's gonna be interesting. I'll say. I'm hoping that what they do is they understand that if you're auto filling, they don't hit you so hard with the LP on the lost, man. Like, because sometimes you get teams where it's not it's not much you can do no matter what role you play.
right.
You just can't. And if you're autofilling, you really getting the short end of the stick here because you're giving other people their preferred spot in order to have assist. You just get into the game and try to make the best out of whatever situation you get.
Hmm.
Thanks, baby. Thanks, kid. Okay. Mwah. Thank you. But yeah, like I said, used to be giving everybody their preferred role so you can just do what you need to do and get in the game and play a team role. And if you get these trolls that only play they one trick top lane, and they only play Fiora,
Right.
and they didn't get Fiora because it got banned. Now they're just gonna screw the game for everybody, stuff like that. You shouldn't get punished so much for that because it's really not anything you can do to carry that situation. Or you get a bot lane and they want to come in there with like some not experimental thing, but clearly they just trolling setup.
Mm,
Like the port came down and they have ghost and smite instead of flashing like exhaust or heal or any kind of actual support thing, and then they build full DPS, like start taking your CS. Like you can't do nothing about that. So I feel like they need to do something about stuff like that because it's waiting a little bit longer ain't gonna really be a big deal. This autofill parity thing might be a thing, but it's not like when you queue up. If you're in iron, you're queuing up with your homeboy who's a grandmaster or something like that.
right.
So I don't really think that's gonna be that big a deal. But we'll wait. We'll see, man. We'll see.
I mean, as long as it's better than Smite's like ranking system, you can't really do too much work.
I didn't
For
even know Smite actually had a ranking system.
Yeah, with Smite's ranking system, like there's master level players that get teamed up with players that are in platinum. So there's a whole league gap, basically a whole class gap. So you go from platinum to diamond to master grand. So they have
Or
like master players going against plat players, and that's pretty much a wash because master player is going to know a lot more
yeah,
than a plat player, which is pretty much the average of Smite players. So I mean, as long as they have it to where like you only go down or up one class instead of skipping over one, I don't think it'll be big of an issue as far as uh but that's just my two takes on it. I don't know a whole lot about League. You and Nella, well, not Nella, you, Tez, Dota are the people that play Dota. I mean, League of Legends. Uh, not the TFT version, but the actual MOBA
Yeah.
version. So I just listen to you guys talk about it. That's not
Nah, I get you.
it's not
These
really my
days,
forte.
I play more TFT than actual League at this point.
Speaking, well, I guess since we're on TFT, we can talk about that. We can talk about this PBE. You've tried it. What'd you think about it? I know the new content's coming out in 3 days. So those of you that play
Yeah.
TFT, the new update will be out in 3 days. But you can play it on the PBE server right now. And just type in TFT, sign up, and play immediately. We've been playing it. I've been playing it probably a lot more than Sleep has, but I want to hear his thoughts on it before I give mine.
I gave it a shot. I didn't get too many games in. I think I played like one, maybe two games with you guys, and that was about it.
Mm,
But I do like the fact that they're rotating themes, and it seems like they're doing it at a reasonable rate. I think like every 3 or 4 months is perfectly fine
right.
because it lets people, get a new set, find new strategies. It keeps that exploration there. League's got a billion and one fucking skins to pull from for ideas on sets and like classes and all that kind of stuff.
Mm,
So if they do, all they gotta do is let's see, we have the base set, the elemental set, and now this set that's coming out. If they
right.
come out with one more set, they can essentially rotate them throughout the season. If summer, spring, winter, fall, they got a new set each one, and then they can just keep the game fresh that way, which will keep it from getting stagnant like a lot of other auto battlers are. I think that's why League has been doing so well with the team fight tactics versus other auto battlers because at a certain point, if you don't change stuff, it distracts all field and everybody's just going through it with on pure RNG and trying to get the top strats that they saw online.
Right.
So, but this rotation and whatnot brings out constantly new things with new strats and if they really want to shake things up, all they have to do is at the end of the year for the season, start swapping up what items are available during which sets as well. So you can't have the exact same builds all the time. Now people have to keep discovering new things, but they don't have to keep inventing completely new TFT setups just to keep the matches fresh.
Right.
And I mean, I feel like that's the best route they could possibly go with the least amount of maintenance on their end. If you get what I'm trying to say,
I
like they
got
don't
you.
have to put as much into it. Not that I want them to just be lazy and quit working on the game, but I mean, if it becomes too much, they'll just they won't do it. So I feel like that'll be the best possible outcome for this to keep the game interesting and fresh for us. So that's what I want to see.
Well, yeah, I know you played a couple of games. Look, I like this set. I've skipped a lot of sets. I played the very first season, I think first and second season. Then I took a break because I got irritated of the RNG. This set is not as bad. However, there is some things they need to adjust if they want to see it be even more successful than I think it will be. Of course, Chrono needs to be nerfed. I think that should be that unit only specific instead of the whole. It's kind of busted how it buffs the whole team, gives them attack speed every 4 seconds. Um, and then the other one uh, that I think probably needs just a little bit of love would be the I just had it and I anyway.
What Dark Stars?
Yeah, Dark Stars, there it is. The
Okay.
Dark Stars was the other one I think should get a little bit of love. But
I made the mistake of running them on my very first one because I didn't know better. I was like, "Hey, that sounds cool," and I picked them up.
and then
Got
you
washed,
washed
but hey,
immediately. Yeah,
but we look cool getting washed. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Edgy boy just goes in. It's like I'm gonna tank it. I got it. One shot mechanic. Okay, GG, good game. Uh, but yeah, those are the two I think just needs a little bit of work. Personally, if I could run it, I'd run it every game. Is the mech units. the ones that form the Gundam or the Megazord, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, yeah,
I'd
the
run
one that
that.
you chopped me off with. All right.
I'd run that every game. I'd run that every game.
I was
I
like, this motherfucker summoned a Megazord on me.
Yep.
What?
And I could hear the Power Rangers music in my head while I was fighting too. So I would run that every time if I could. So if y'all are playing against me, just know that that's probably going to be my go-to in any TFT game. So if you try to hold my units, I will come after you, uh, and leave it at that. But let's see. I guess what we're looking on time. I think we're doing pretty good. Let's look at this because I know this was something I posted, and this is probably going to be a topic for. Of course, a streamer got banned for actually discharging a firearm during a live stream. So, for those of you that weren't aware, a Call of Duty streamer had a gun, pulled out his ultimate move gun, and he thought it was empty, and it fired around through his, I think it was like his Pepsi can or something like that on stream. So he of course he was intoxicated at the time. So this just it's just a big ball of mess. So of course he got banned. He got banned from Twitch. He got dropped from his org that was trying to support him. And of course he did the right thing and acknowledged the fact that it was a stupid decision on his part. But just the fact that you had a loaded gun on live stream just I don't know. I have nothing to really say except just tell me. He's just idiot. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, just put the red nose on and accept it, man. Like the man's a clown. Like saying like you're not saying that he's the not saying that the young man is just crazy or anything like that or just some kind of dumbass, but like that one moment, that was something a dumbass would do. That was something that just come on, man. Why? Why would you do that? Like, what made you think you should pick up a loaded weapon and just mess around with it right there?
and according to from what he was saying, he didn't think it was loaded. Uh, so so I don't know. I'm just really like my mind is blown with some of the stuff people do essentially on stream. Like it's just getting more and more. What's the word? Not irritating, but just mind-blowing how people can just do just these random things on stream and then not expect to get punished in some sort of way for doing them. I mean, like I said, I'll give the man credit, he owned up to it, whatever, but I was like, I would never if I had a gun, I would never have it on stream. Like that would be something that's
Yeah.
locked away or put away or something like that.
Yeah, I don't have a weapon right now because we have kids and we don't have a safe. And so
Right.
I'm like, yo, I was like, I'm just gonna get rid of mine and sold it. But when I did have one, like the military, that's literally the first thing they teach you is the safety rules of having a weapon. And the very first one is treat every weapon as if it was loaded. You know what I'm saying? That's the very first thing they tell you. Like if you pick up any type of weapon whatsoever, you're supposed to treat it as if it's loaded. And then that so just the fact that he picked it up and like I thought it wasn't like no. Because even if you're not sure, then it is. That's how you're supposed to pick a weapon. And so
That's why I'm saying you don't know what the line is till you cross it. But the thing is, a lot of these people are like, "Oh, this is my livelihood, this, that, and the other." It's like, well, why would you want to? Why would you want to risk it? You know what I mean? I understand you want to be edgy, to be the talked about person on the platform or whatever like that. If it's gonna risk your monetary income, why bother? You know what I mean? Like that's common sense. Like, why would you do something that's gonna affect your income? At least that's just my take on
especially this type of thing, because people gonna be looking at him not to see his content or like hear him speak or anything like that, but they're gonna be sitting there watching to see if he does something else stupid. And he might get a temporary bump for that. But as soon as they see that he's not doing stupid stuff with guns again, they're gonna leave, you know? So
So I just thought it was just thought it was interesting. Like, whoa, okay. Then yeah. You said I think when we spoke you had one more. I jump into this big topic that was actually just earlier today, like not even 30 minutes ago.
Okay. Well, one thing I did want to bring up is PSO2 beta is getting closer. They just put out a tweet saying that it's only going to be a few like 1 or 2 more weekends before they go ahead and drop that beta,
Okay.
and it's supposed to be coming to the PC as well. It's going to be on both Steam and on Windows Store. So I believe, yeah, announcement was March 17th. So
Next week.
literally next week.
So
Yep,
next week is the
next week
beta, open
for
beta.
the open beta at that. So there you go. Open beta PSO2, like a decade of content to go through with crap ton of classes. So plenty to keep people busy if you into action MMOs. There you go. That's probably like the premier action MMO I could think of that we haven't really had a chance to play.
I wonder how many people are actually going to stop playing it. Well, I'm guessing what it's going to be weekend only thing. Like, if
No,
it's
no, no.
something
17th, I think, is like Tuesday or Wednesday next week.
because
So
tomorrow's the 12th,
yeah, so then 6 days
5 days.
from now. So yeah, it'll be next Tuesday.
Well, I mean, how long is it going to last though? Is it going to be like that whole week, or because normally open betas, some open betas typically are like, oh, we're in open beta, but it's actually like the release of the game or whatever. Um,
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they do an open beta, but the game drops and they just keep it like that, then I mean, it's still 10 years worth of content. Like I
right,
feel like
but
that's
you come on, man, you already know people are going to be rushing and be like, I'm bored, I have nothing to do within 24 hours after the game, comes out or whatever.
hey, if you want to rush and max level your character, fine. But PSO2's got like Final Fantasy 14 style leveling as far as how many classes you can level. And I doubt anybody's going to be able to go in 24 hours through literally all of the content. Now, is there going to be somebody who, like, first week has got like a world first clear on the last raid in the current content? Of course. But I mean, that's that guy. If he wants to give up his life for a week or didn't have one to begin with, that's on him.
I mean, there's no if he wants to, he's going to. That happens in every MMO that
Yeah,
comes
hey,
out.
there's always people out there like that. But this is a game where I feel like, honestly, just enjoy the fact that it's there and play it. Go at your own pace. If your pace happens to be breakneck, that's fine. But like, I just think I'm gonna enjoy playing PSO2 with my homies because that's a game where you can do 4-man stuff, 8-man stuff. There's all kinds of stuff to do in there. You don't have to worry about, oh, we need a dedicated healer or a dedicated tank or whatever. Like, nah, man, just go in there and play what you want to play and have fun. So it's gonna be one of those games where I'm just gonna enjoy having another good game around to play and just enjoy doing it. Especially with all the crossovers that game has. Like if they do the Final Fantasy 14 crossover in that game over here, that's gonna be dope.
Oh, they did that in PSO2?
Yeah, they do crossovers with everything, man. PSO2's got a crap ton of crossovers, especially with Sega, because duh. But
Right. Okay. I mean, like I said, I'll be playing it probably pretty regularly. I don't know anything. I don't want to spoil myself, so I didn't really look at anything about the game. Um so I'm going in essentially blind. No, Barbados is one that's been the most, I think, out of all of
well,
us.
I don't want to give you like any like direct story details, but I'll just tell you about the crossovers that I'm aware of.
Mm,
So they did crossovers with the Fate Stay Night series.
okay.
They did a crossover with the Tales of series. They
Okay.
did a crossover with Persona 5. We didn't get like I know that people gonna go ham when they see Joker stuff in there, you know. They did a crossover with Final Fantasy 14, like I said, Dead or Alive, the Atelier series, Near Automata, so you can get you some two booty stuff on your female character, you know. King of Fighters, for people like me who love the MGC stuff, if you just the anime fan, there's if it is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon, they did a crossover with them.
Really?
Konosuba, they did Konosuba, they did a crossover with them. You know, so they even hell, they even did Ava like Evangelion, they did a
Okay.
crossover with them. So and those are just the ones I can think of off the top of my head.
Right. So is that stuff like going to be? So I know the crossovers usually are typically limited time events. So is all that stuff just going to be in the game, or are they just going to cycle through it, like turn on the switch and be like, "Hey, here's your crossover for this week," or case may be, or is just
I don't know how they're gonna do it in the English version. They did them for like about a month or two in the Jap version, which was dope. Like I remember playing that one with my boy LP because we was trying to get Final Fantasy stuff in that game. You know, that was
hmm,
so that was sick, man. Uh, I'm not sure, but I think they did a Monster Hunter crossover. But like I said, I don't know which what they're gonna do over here with it. So it's just all we can do is wait and see. But some of those crossovers will make it. Some of them won't because of Japan only stuff, and they're being owned by different people over here and all that. But yeah, man, Persona, like I said, if we get the Persona crossover, that's gonna in itself will get a lot of people to come look at it. But even if we don't get that one, if we get Final Fantasy or if we get any other fighting game stuff, like I said, Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue, and King of Fighters, it's so much content for them to pull from and do. Like I'm not expecting people to get bored with this game too fast because there's so much you can do in it. You know,
hmm.
it's even got like a Final Fantasy 14 style gold saucer where you could just go to a casino and hang out and play, and there's a crap ton of stuff to do there. That could be its own game.
Oh yeah. So the 17th. So definitely gonna look into it. Definitely gonna look into it. And that I'm going in blind. I'll play it, see what it's about. I've heard a lot of good stuff from you guys, so I'll check it out and give my own thoughts after about probably about. But I guess the most oh man, this virus thing is wild, dude.
Oh my god!
The most recent breaking news, you know, the little flash,
Yeah.
E3 has been canceled due to the
Ooh.
coronavirus. So I don't know what they're gonna do as far as their announcements for gameplays and things like that, but yeah. So that the biggest conference for tech tech in I guess game well one of the
Well,
biggest.
gaming for sure.
Yeah,
One of the premier biggest gaming cons and like showcases just gone now. But I mean, this virus has got people all over the world like just saying F travel and F group stuff. Like that got canceled. Um, like I know Harvard is just shutting down classes and sending people home. Like, and I don't mean like back to their dorm. They literally have to the end of this month to get out the dorms and go back to their home
right.
and wherever they're from. Like it's getting out of hand, man. Everybody is just like, nah, we're done. The state of New York dropped state branded hand sanitizer. Like because they're running out of hand sanitizer on the shelves, so the state made some and is selling it itself at a discounted price just to keep it on the shelves.
I wonder, like, remember that meme I posted? Like, I got you with that Purell, that 5 gram, that 5 gram of Purell. I wonder if
So
anybody's actually doing that. That's
this is the world's biggest version of freaking Plague Incorporated live action right here. Like it's
basically.
insane.
But yeah, that was announced about an hour ago that E3 is now canceled. I don't know what they're going to do, or they're trying to look at an E3 online event summer, but they said you've already canceled it. It was in June. I guess they're trying to take precautionary measures for it. I mean, E3 online wouldn't be that bad either way, so that way people don't have to waste with it regardless. Because I was just going to anyway.
I mean, you say online and they don't have to waste money, but they're still gonna charge tickets, prices, stuff like they do with all the other stuff.
Right. I mean, it'll be like I was saying, just a direct show
Yeah.
show the people what they want to see. Show the show the trailers for the games, announce what you're going to announce, and then keep it moving. That's all that people wanted to see for E3 anyway. Trailers, talk about them, whatever, get into whatever game. No, some people go out there that me. I'm here for the I'm here for the trailers and the announcement.
I mean, well, and depending on if you like battle royales or not, I mean, there's the Call of Duty Warzone drop today. Actually, it was yesterday it dropped. So there's a free Call of Duty game you can play on your console or PC right now. I mean, there's something right there. Whether or not it's gonna get super big or not, I don't know. But it's using a 3v3. It's using a three-man squad setup, kind of like Apex,
Okay.
but with Call of Duty mechanics. So you don't have to. I think on console it'll be a big challenger, a huge challenger. I don't PC not so much because I mean there's a crap ton of battle royales on PC. So Call of Duty is just another one, and it's a bit late for them there. But on console, I feel like that game is going to make a big dip to the people who play Fortnite.
Mhm.
I'm not big on the Knights of Fort, but other people are, and I think Call of Duty might end up shaking that up a little bit because if I remember correctly, Apex is also on there, and I know they snatched up a bunch of their people. So that's one more person in that out there just competing with them.
Right. And I mean, with the I watched some of the gameplay for the Call of Duty Zone. I do like the fact that they have the 1v1s to revive yourself. Essentially, like if you're down, go into a
Yeah.
gulag and you have to do a gunfight with somebody somebody else in order to come back into the game. I thought that was a really neat idea. I did appreciate that. So you can stun on somebody on a 1v1. The only thing I didn't like about it was the fact that people can throw stuff at you um, while you're fighting to essentially stun you. So there's like rocks and stuff that are in the arena, and people can pick them up and toss them at you and hit you while you're fighting in the gulag against somebody and stun you essentially. Um, so I mean, I guess if it's a team that's in there and they're trying to bring back their buddies or whatever, then that's a smart strategy. But if a let's say if a streamer or somebody like that was playing and then everybody wanted to focus them or make sure they get out the game, then that could cause problems. The buying system is pretty cool. If it does have some tie-in to the Modern Warfare as far as loadouts. There's a chest that you can purchase your loadout from that'll have all your loadouts from the Call of Duty game itself that you can bring in Warzone. I thought was pretty. Um,
I like the contract system. I think that's dope. The fact that you might get a contract to go out and scavenge and just pick up certain stuff,
mm,
or you might get one that says hunt down this dude, so you get a bounty contract instead.
right. Bounty. I think the bounties were really cool. I was watching, like I said, I was watching somebody stream it last night, and they were going through. His teammate had died. He was about to go kill the people that killed his teammates, and then all of a sudden he had a bounty on his head as a contract. So he he left immediately. He left the area immediately. He's like, I don't want no smoke. Hold on. He left
Yeah, like I
immediately.
said, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting with some of the systems they put in, and it's Call of Duty, so you know what you already know what you're in for. You know how the weapons are gonna somewhat feel. They don't change that much. You know how the controls are. It's gonna be interesting. Like it's gonna be a very interesting experience to see, and it's gonna be fun to watch on Twitch, YouTube, things like that. I'm not the best at shooting games, even though I do enjoy playing them. But I do like watching people who are legit good. Like Shroud. Shroud is always like, yo, like so watching that dude play this game, that's gonna be legit.
Right.
Like the people who are fans of like, two-time, you know he's gonna get on this and he's gonna get out there and he's gonna do something.
You know he's
So
gonna rage. He's gonna rage the minute like he dies or something like.
yeah,
I mean, it's expected because I do the same thing.
So
Yeah, those kind of people. It'll be interesting watching.
you know, are
Mm,
you gonna give this one a shot?
I may, I may give it a shot. I mean, I don't know how well it's gonna run on my PC. That's like everything.
Well,
Um,
if you get on that, let me know. I definitely want to be there for live for that rage because that's gonna be hilarious.
Because you already know how I am in Smite, man. It's like God,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Jesus. But I'm just dreading the download because from what I heard, it's like 100 gigs if you don't have it installed. I'm just
Oh Lord,
that is an all day
that is
event.
a beefy,
Yeah,
beefy download.
that is an all day event right there.
Like,
Um,
let's say 100. I'm like, yo, just on that download, I'm like, hold on.
right, exactly. I was like, that's a lot. That's a lot. So like I said, I already know TK's probably going to be wanting to play it. I know he's probably going to
Mm.
ask people in the Discord.
Oh yeah.
I may download it today, and we'll see. Have mixed scene because I just have flashbacks of Modern Warfare 2, and I don't want to go back to 2000, 2006, 2006 tack because that's problems. Um, so that but overall, I think the game's gonna really prosper. I think the tournaments will be really crazy for it as far as the prize money. Um,
Yeah.
like I said, the concept was really interesting. I did like the fact have the D1s that carry your potentially carry your team to victory. Um, and
Yeah.
then the other thing, the fact that you don't have to look for attachments as they are on the weapons. So you're not sitting around here running for a scope or something like that. It's like, hey, you gotta you get this weapon and what you have on it, that's it. Deal with it, essentially. So it's like get good or go home. Kind of vibes I got from that. So you're not running around looking. It's like, hey, you got this 3 times scope or whatever for this sniper rifle has cog. That's it. You gotta roll with it, or try to find another weapon. I did like that. I thought that.
Okay. This is a gaming adjacent thing that I wanted to bring up because I've always wanted to know the story behind this, but I never really played the game. I missed a lot of these games when I was still in the military, so this is gonna be enjoyable for me. But The Last of Us is
Okay,
being adapted into a TV show for HBO.
I would rather see it on Netflix, but
I mean, yeah, I get you. It'd be a lot easier for me to see it if it was there. But just the fact that the show is out there, I'm like, all right, like the crazy part is like I'm one of those few people out there who was like Game of Thrones, yeah, whatever. I didn't watch Game of Thrones, but
same.
like you best believe I'm gonna be checking out the last two.
All right. Did you play the game or no?
I got to play through a bits of the first one, but then I had to deploy it, so I didn't get to finish it because it wasn't mine. It was my homeboys. But I've had another buddy of mine that's basically been preaching, play this game, you know, forever when it was around, like there's a bunch of games like that one there. He's like, yo, if you get the chance, like get this game, play it, you gonna enjoy it. It's just and just the bits of story that I remember from when I did get the playthrough for a little bit on the first one was just like, yo, like this is dope. Like it's not it might be in an action setting, but it gave me a lot of Uncharted vibes. Like
Mm.
The Uncharted might have been an action game, but the storytelling in Uncharted was legit.
Isn't
That
Last
was
of Us
very well written
PlayStation?
game.
Isn't it a
So
PlayStation?
yeah, those are
Okay.
PlayStation.
Yeah, that's why I haven't played it. Okay, I
Yeah,
just wanted
I
to make sure. I
know.
was like,
That's what messed me up is because like I just really haven't been buying games on my consoles. And at this point, it's almost something I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna pass it down to my kids, and then they gonna get it,
just
and I'm
watch
just
it
gonna
and
stick
watch
to
them play it or
PC gaming.
whatever.
Yeah, but it's is it dope that this is happening? Yeah, like one, I love to see video games crossing over in the mainstream more and more and more. This day and age, it's not like it was. It's in the the smoke filled arcade rooms of the days of yore and whatnot anymore. But still, there's still people out there that don't play games, don't know anything about them, and don't really care for them. So the fact that they're gonna get this media and then they're gonna be like, "Yo, this is like mad dope," and they might catch interest and decide to actually go out and play through it. That gives me hope, because there's a lot of people out there that weren't in the comic books at all, But then the Marvel and DC movies came around and TV shows, and they were like, you know what? I'm gonna give some of these comics a chance because I want to know more about these characters, where all these stories are coming from. So I'm hoping that we'll get the same kind of you know interest once gaming start crossing over into the media more.
So that's so how many has that? Well, okay, so we're not talking about movies. We're actually talking about TV shows, right? As far as games getting their own series
Yeah.
or whatever. So what is that? I think that's the third one, right? Because we have The Witcher, we have The Last of Us,
Mhm.
uh,
Well, The Witcher, The Last of Us, Castlevania.
Pennsylvania.
Um, so yeah, I mean,
So
because Mario and Sonic are ancient. That was back in the day, and those were made for kids. But
right.
but The Witcher is very adult.
So let me ask you this: what would you want to see? We'll do a what would you want to see? What show or what game would you want to see be made into a show? I already know which one my answer is. I would like to see it time sooner rather than later, but
Mine is actually kind of surprising even to me
mm,
because I would like to see Baldur's Gate
okay.
because Baldur's Gate might be ancient, but D&D is also making a huge like upswing just in general, and not even in video game form, like just actual D&D, you know. So I think that the Baldur's Gate storyline would be adapted to something similar to a Castlevania, a Netflix type anime.
Hmm.
That would be hugely popular. I feel like because it's dark, it's gritty the same way that one is, but it's lots of story for them to pull from.
Metal Gear Solid's the only answer. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
We already
Uh,
had Metal Gear Solid. It was called 24, and it was played by Solid Snake.
there you go. I don't know if this would even count because it's I guess Dragon Age or Mass Effect, but then again, it's like it's already been explained. You can't really make it into it. I don't know. Maybe you can do something in that universe, perhaps, but
Dragon Age would be dope.
I think
They could even change the main character each season, but have the other characters come back.
right,
And if you did Dragon, you could break each Dragon Age up into at least 2 seasons.
right.
With Dragon Age 3 being 3 seasons, probably, considering how much there is there. But if they did Dragon Age, I think it would be very interesting. But they would have to get Peter Dinklage to play Varric, because
Okay.
that's the only man badass enough and dignified enough to play Varric.
Agreed.
So
Dragon Age Story of Duncan. I mean, I think I just didn't know if that could really because it was like the game has so many choices, and I was like, I don't know how you would be able to adapt that into uh
Saints Row would be hilarious,
that would be good.
you know. And you can have Keith David coming back constantly to play Keith David.
Netflix
And
series or
whoever
whatever
played
he's
Johnny
in,
Gat just instantly wins.
basically. Um,
Yeah.
then another one, I think one more. Legend of Dragoon would be a good one as well. Um, let's see, Legend of Dragoon. Um, there was one I was thinking about that I can't remember the name of. It's gonna bother me for that. Anyway, but yeah, those that you listed, Wolf, or yeah, I would love to see those be made into a TV series. I think that'd be um hey, I can't remember the name of it. Oh my goodness. But yeah, Legend of Dragoon, Legend of Mana, Xenogears, yeah, those are really good. Those are really good options. But I may check out this Last of Us that's coming out on 8 just
As
to
much as I like Xenogears, I think that it would lose a lot of people. Story gets really slow at some spot, but Legend of Dragoon or Legend of Mana, like yeah, those could be extremely hype, especially a Dragoon. 'Cause Dragoon, they could do the prequel story, essentially tell you what happens with that, and so I feel like that would be mad dope.
There's got to be one more that I'm missing. I know there's one more that was like, oh my goodness, and it's gonna there has to be there's I know there's more, and most of them are gonna end up being like those being like RPG kind of thing. What about Chrono Trigger? That's another good. Um, Legend of like sounds. I don't really know. I'd have to see a trailer for it.
I
That's
remember Legend of Legaia. It was a Square
I'm assuming it's a Square Enix.
JRPG where
Yeah,
you had to pick like punch, kick, and like what type of punch, kick, and then you would do like punch, punch, kick, kick, and then like hard punch, and then you would get like a specific combo. So like your characters would grow
right.
and add another action to their attack sequence, and then you would learn. You'd have to figure out more combos that way, similar to Xenogears, but executed differently. But yeah, those three games did combat very different for the time frame they were in with JRPGs. Uh, Legend of Legaia was the third one in that trinity of let's do JRPG combat completely weird, but it didn't get as much acclaim as the other two did. Xenogears became a cult classic, and like the Legend of Dragoon became a PlayStation JRPG must essentially. But Legend of Gaia just kind of faded away. It didn't get that much shine compared to oh another good PlayStation game they could do some fun stuff with. And it doesn't have to be super kiddie, but it will be more kid friendly than the other ones. Would be a Brave Fencer Musashi.
I'm sorry, what? Gesundheit.
Brave Fencer Musashi. It was like the PlayStation's answer to Zelda, and it was really good. Um, the Japanese dropped it on PlayStation 4 as soon as they dropped PlayStation 4, and it sold more copies than most PlayStation 4 games did, and it was a PS1 game. So it was really good game.
Um, yeah, I mean, like I said, I can't think of any other one off the top of my outside of
There's
those two.
plenty of good ones out there they could do. The Armor Core series would make a
Armored Core.
good one because people love Gundams, man.
Gundams.
Yeah, people love Gundams. So just give them a Gundam series with with some like real military drama behind it. Yo, there you go, done. Uh, what other series can I think of? On top of my head that would be really good?
Gonna take some time to like
Yeah,
just
I mean,
play
but they're
played
there.
so many
There's
games.
stuff there, definitely. Like, I wish I knew what that job was called because I would love to have that job.
What? Just come up with series names, or come up with series. Just look at the pile of video games you have for the past 30 some odd years.
Well, not just that, but I mean, like comic books, anime, manga. There's plenty of material out there waiting to be adapted to the general population.
Mhm.
Like I said, the guys that don't do all that nerd shit, there's plenty of stuff that they would be interested in. They just don't know about it because for whatever reason they don't. They're just not into it. You know,
Right.
like I know there's plenty of shows where I watch them, and if they're in English, my wife is interested. But the moment she sees subtitles, she's like, "Nah, I'm good." If I'm gonna read a book. If it's on TV, it needs to speak English, you know. So like, but when she sat down and watched Castlevania, she was like, "Okay, so we watched the season two, right?"
Mm.
Like right away. She saw The Witcher and was like, "Hey, there's this thing called The Witcher. You should come check it out with me." So
Oh,
I was like, "Sure, let's go with your idea." Like, so
did you get caught up on Lock and Key yet? Speaking of,
yeah.
so you
We
caught up
definitely can
now.
talk about yeah, we can
Okay.
talk about that after there because I still don't
Yeah.
want to spoil it
Yeah. I
for
don't
you.
want
But
to
if you
spoil all
haven't
this.
seen it stream, you know what I'm saying? People out there listening to the podcast, wait over there. Annalise, over there. Wait a second. I see. Okay. I see. Give you a moment.
Yep, do your thing. But in case y'all going back to comics, because that just brought up something I read. I know everybody's familiar with Joker and Harley Quinn, but apparently Joker has a new girlfriend. And I forgot her name. Like I saw an article about it, and I was like, oh, so the past 20 years or so. Let me see if I can try to find. Let's see, what's her name? Punch. Yeah. So yeah, Joker has a new girlfriend called Punchline. I don't know really a whole lot about her, but I thought it was interesting that they broke up the dynamic of Joker and Harley Quinn for so long. I don't know the whole story behind it. I'll have to look into it, but in case y'all, Joker fans are used to seeing that, don't get confused if there's a new movie that comes out that introduces her as the new girlfriend instead of Harley Quinn going forward. Um, because that is going to be a thing. Then I think that was pretty much it. I want to get Sleep's thoughts on. Want to get Sleep's thoughts on Seven Deadly Sins since he's playing it as well. See what he thinks. But yeah, a
It
punchline.
is spring break.
Up.
See, it is spring break.
Oh yeah. I was telling the audience about Punchline. I'm sure you know about her.
Oh yes, Punchline. Man, I wish I would have had. I wish I would have had the wherewithal to buy those comics. I did. I thought about it. Didn't. Wish I did. Now, the resale value on those things sky high. People were buying these comic books for like 10, $15, and then reselling them for like 50, $60. Like that flip is real. Like it is legit. And I mean, obviously they're buying like the alternate arts and all that kind of stuff, the limited ones and whatnot. But still, and it's only going to go up from here. But like, she showed up for one panel and people lost their crap, and like they blew their minds. Like so, that that character is going to play a big role in the upcoming Joker war that they got going on in DC. And I'm extremely happy about it, just as a DC fan, not because of her, but just because of the fact that they're gonna shift away from this whole Batman Who Laughs thing and go into the Joker
Right.
for a bit. Like Batman became the top superhero and the top villain for a bit. I was just like, all right, man, y'all gotta chill with this Batman stuff, right? Like nobody is like you can't even read other comics. Batman's showing up in random other people comics, just doing random stuff now. It's just like, bro.
And I was like, don't get surprised. Don't get surprised if she ends up being like going forward, being the new girlfriend instead of Harley Quinn. Everybody's gonna be expecting Harley Quinn when they see
Oh
Joker.
no, she is. It's already confirmed that's his girl.
Oh, I know. I'm saying in movies, because a lot of people like us,
Oh,
people that us are older, are gonna be like, "Where's Harley Quinn at?" I was like, "Don't be surprised if they're like, oh, Punchline is now is here." They're like, "Who's this?" or whatever.
yo, if
You know
that
what I mean?
happens that fast, that's gonna be ridiculous, right?
But they'll do it. I mean, they try to refresh, bring in a new wave of
Yeah, I'm
people
trying to
into.
capitalize on the wise hide. I get it. I
Right.
do. I'm just like, man.
But I wanted to wanted to circle back around to Seven Deadly Sins. I know you've been playing it.
Yo,
What's your
yeah.
thoughts on it? And we'll get more into it after you give your 2 cents. The mobile
I'm
game,
extremely
for context, people. We're talking about the mobile
no,
game
no,
that
no.
released last week.
I'm extremely pleased with it. It's a legit mobile game. Uh And by that I mean like it's not just like typically when you see a mobile game, you're just like, it's another mobile game, and you're like whatever, and you just move on. But like there every now and then you find a mobile game that's actually a game. It just happens to be on a mobile platform. And that's what I like right there. Like I like games like that. When you find one where it's a game you can sit down and you can play for 5 minutes or you can play for 2 hours, that's a good game. I don't need to sit there and buy 50 energy just so that Harry Potter cannot choke doing the spell. Like I don't know if y'all played that Harry Potter game, but yeah, that was a thing where they would make you go through the story mission and then tell you if you don't spend enough energy to cast this spell, the character would choke. And then you only had like 43 energy, but it cost 50 to save the guy.
Right.
And there was no way to get 50 energy naturally. You had to have spent money to get past that.
SOS. SOL, excuse me.
Like my wife was trying to play that game and she got so mad. She was so upset. Like her feelings were so hurt because she loves Harry Potter. But she was like, I'm not spending $5 on this game. So y'all choke this kid. Y'all are terrible people. Like she's like she's like, y'all are terrible people. You made this kid just so you can choke him in this game because you wanted to extort $5 from me. And I was like, yo, that's how mobile games are. But that's not Seven Deadly Sins. Like I haven't spent a dime. Been playing it pretty regularly. I won't say like religiously as much as you or other friends of ours, but I've been playing it, about an hour or so a day, and I haven't spent a dime. And I've been having an actually enjoyable battle, and the combat has been pretty nice. I like the design of the story and the game right now, but I haven't had to spend a dime, and I've gotten this much out of it. That's what I like about these mobile gotchas of that type. Like, I understand if you want to be at the top tier, you're gonna have to put some time, money in it, and a lot more time than what I'm putting in. But for the guy who's a casual fan and just wants to try the game out, I think that's perfect right there as is. And they seem more than fair on the way that they do their gotcha mechanic. It very Fire Emblem and Seven Night esque as far as how much it reminds me. Then Marvel did good with this, man. I can't say anything bad about it. There's
Yeah.
nothing bad I can say about this game right now.
And
It even designed in a way to stop bots from being a big thing. So
true. Excuse me. Yeah, like I said, I'm thoroughly enjoying the game. This is probably outside of Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, I think this is the one mobile game I put the most time into. Just for the simple fact that I can AFK grind, put like how many turns I want to be used or whatever, and then set it down and go do something else. Um, to answer your question, Wolf, no, I haven't made a guild yet. I'm halfway through chapter 6, um, and I don't know if I'm going to create a guild or if I'm going to join. I'll let you know. And I see your questions in chat, and we'll get to them as we're going. I just want to try to keep a certain pace about the show. But to continue with Seven Deadly Sins, I I'm really liking it. I'm liking the game. I'm liking the whole concept of it. Um, and like I said earlier, the PvP is live PvP, so it's not like you're going up against a pre-made built team, that's AFK or whatever. You're going against people that are doing things real time. Same thing with the raids as well. So you have ways to communicate with other raid members or your raid party member when you have CC active or ultimates ready. I thought was a good, really good touch to the game. And like you were saying earlier, Sleep, the amount of gems that they give you in that game is really, really favorable for people that are free to play players like uh pretty much just drop some money. Um but overall, like I said, I think depending on what's next, because I mean there's only but so many characters they can release 7 days. I want to see what the crossovers are gonna be. Which I think the opportunities for that are pretty much endless because they can do pretty much any anime that has like uh any anime that has a character in it essentially. I think that would end up providing some longevity to the game going forward. Also, content will probably have the content's already ramping because chapter 6 is already a beast in itself. Um, as far as getting through, because I think the cap right now is 65,000 to 70. I'm right at 65K, so I'm sitting here grinding, trying to get some more stuff for my unit. Like I said, overall, I think it's a really good game, really good concept. I have no issues with Cash Shop. If you want to whale, you can whale. I mean, there's some people that, regardless, but that's just my 2 cents on it. That's as far as the New World. I've been keeping my ear out for it. I really, outside of them changing the focus as heavy as they did on PvP, I really haven't heard a whole lot. I'll have to look into it. Um, Sleep, do you know anything about the New World MMO?
Um, I mean, the current state, not really. I mean, I know that there's a beta's gonna be starting soon,
Right.
so it's supposed to start in May. So what, like about 2 months,
Yeah,
and then
roughly.
roughly, give it but 8 to 10 weeks. Essentially, we'll be at that point where that game's getting ready to kick off, and that'll be something to see, definitely. The PvP changes on there aren't finalized because the moment they took the PvP out because they had too many complaints about it,
Right.
and then they got so many complaints and downvotes, and the backlash was so swift on that they immediately said, okay, well, we're gonna put PvP back, maybe,
Right.
so like we
So
don't know anything right now about where that's going to be at in its final state. However, like I will say, as somebody that played the alpha, if you've played Dark and Light, Conan Exiles, any of those type of game, art survival type games, this is probably the most polished one of those I've seen. It's graphically ahead of a lot of those games. Like honestly, legit. It looks beautiful, and then the combat on there is actually refined enough for you to actually hit something and it look not like game breakingly weird. Like uh Dark and Light, sometimes you can stab something and like the way the stab looks and then interacts with stuff is just
right.
like what the you know?
Right.
And then you just run there with the spear and you see your character doing this little weak, impotent ass thrust, and you have to do it like 80 times to kill like like a baby boar.
Or
And
ends up
it's like,
beating that
yo,
ass.
yeah, or it's swinging at you and it's nowhere near you, but it's running you down and it's hitting you the whole damn time, even though it's like a good 10 yards away, your character's getting hit, like stuff like that. Not in this game. So it's definitely the most polished out of any of these that I've seen. So it's going to be very interesting to see uh, the way the guilds and things interact with each other in this one because they're really trying to push the community involvement. They're keeping the server sizes to a smaller amount. They're putting in mechanics that allow people to interact with other people besides just, oh, there's somebody's base. Let me go raid their base, or kill them and steal their stuff. Like you can actually trade, and so it gives guilds in a sense of to form different types of things and make alliances with each other and own territory and do way more than typically is in these type of games. They're they're essentially leading the players to creating certain types of content without doing it themselves. And I think that's smart to, because you can lead players to water, but you can't make them do it. So
Right.
but they're giving you a lot of incentives and giving you a lot of things to lead you naturally into forming alliances, guilds, and maybe PvPing with other alliances, guilds over certain resources, things like that. So it's going to be a very interesting game, at the very least, to watch and just read about, because there's going to be some Eve Online type storylines coming out of there.
Right. And like I said, for me personally, I really don't have my eye on it because once I found out it was a like what's the survival MMO RPG kind of thing, I was like I kind of lost interest. But that's just me personally. Because I've already played Ark, I've already played all those other games, so I really didn't have a whole lot of interest in the game per se. But like I said, the last thing I knew Last thing I heard about the game was that they changed the PvP due to the fact that the griefing was real, which is expected in any PvP game. Um, and so once that was announced, I was just like, okay, well, just kept it moving. I will definitely wait until the release. This is one of those games where I'm gonna wait until the release of the game to see if I even want to play it, like somebody, whatever the case may be. And then if I'm interested in it, I don't want to that I already know has similarities to Arc, Dark and Light, and because I was already over the type of game. Just for the simple fact that if you're not online, I don't know how they're going to do it on this one, but in those games, if you weren't online 24/7, you're liable to get your stuff stolen, taken, your whole base destroyed, and stuff like that. It's almost like a job because people were taking shifts. I know, at least in Lost Ark, when they released the PvP server, people were taking like 8-hour shifts to be online to make sure nothing happened to the base while you were like AFK or sleeping or something like that. I'm like, I don't want to have to go through that again, especially in New World if that's the route they're going. So, like I said, I'll wait and watch gameplay of it and see how it is. If it's like a evolving PvP or if like your stuff's gonna be safe when you're offline, whatever the case may be. But for me
Yeah,
personally,
I'm hoping what
it's a
they do
sit
is
wait.
come up with rotating siege windows for that because yeah, I'm with you on that. I feel like if it becomes a second job, then it's gonna exclude a lot of players. So, um, if they have like siege windows rotating based off of like if you're playing on an NA server, then it might be I don't know like 9 p.m. Eastern all the way down and adjusted accordingly for your time zone is like PvP time, and that gives everybody playing time to get on and do stuff.
Like a 2 to 3 hour window. Let's say like from
Yeah,
8 to
exactly.
11 or something like that. Because that's usually when people are home, they have jobs, stuff like that, or are
Yeah,
home and able to play. They've already taken care of the kids.
yeah. That's why I said around like 9 p.m. Eastern at the in latest, is the start time. Because if you start at 9 p.m. That time, that's like 6 o'clock on the West Coast. You have PvP be on like a Friday or a Saturday, so that you know as far as your siege windows and stuff, and then that gives people plenty of time to plan and to be ready for it and whatnot, but not interfere too heavily with just everyday life and all that. Like now, if you want to go out and raid like an outpost or whatever like that and take that position or whatever, that's cool. But like as far as just like straight up snatching bases and stuff like that, yeah, that should definitely be something that's like got a window and a timer on it because nobody, like you said, nobody's got time for 4 to 5 hours of watch in a video game. Like that's ridiculous. So
Yeah. You said hoping OCE servers. You don't want to play another MMO. Yeah, ping is always bad. Any type of that can make or break your performance if you are a diehard like EPS or whatever class. Regardless, it can affect your. But I don't see why they wouldn't. I mean, it's Amazon, so they have they have enough money to put servers wherever they want to. See why they servers. Um, but yeah, that a game like I said, it's a sit and watch. I'm not I'm not investing any time into it to look into any more than I. But did you have anything? Have anything sleep in the meantime?
actually, I got one thing I did want to bring up. So I'm gonna link this trailer, and I want you to watch this and tell me what you see when you see this, because a lot of people not catching it. But the moment I saw it, I was like, really? Because there's gonna be people who are gonna see this and they're not gonna associate it with the same thing I saw it and associated with. So they're gonna think that Riot was doing some interesting new thing that was never done before.
Where are you linking it?
And
You linking it in Discord or in the chat?
yeah, Discord, I'll put it right here. I'll post it in the Twitch chat as well, so that if you here right now, you want to go check it out, you can.
I'll just
But this
I'll bring it up on bring it up on.
one, this is Valorant. That's the new name for Riot's first-person shooter.
Excuse me.
So it's been confirmed. We got gameplay, and yeah, there it
At the end
is.
of last year,
I'm not
Riot
gonna say
Games
too much
announced that they were working
right
on a
now.
brand new
Like, go ahead,
first-person
check it
shooter.
out.
This came as a bit
and
of a
let's see.
shock to some people, as Riot is
Yeah, I'm not hearing it either.
Oh no, I'm not playing it. I paused it.
Oh, okay. So, yeah,
most
this
well
here
known for their
game
MOBA League of Legends.
got dropped.
Nevertheless, there was and still is a lot of
this trailer
intrigue
for the game
around
just
it
got
because
dropped,
League of
and
Legends is one of
yeah,
the biggest games in the world.
lots of
And the
vibes
developers
here
of that are
given off
stepping
of
into the
multiple games, but
first-person
the one that
shooter
hit me the most
Mhm.
is this is one
it's
that
worth
a
standing
lot of
up
people
for
are not going to associate with this game because a lot of people who are going to play this game won't even give
taking
credit
notice. Back
to
then,
the
the
people who I feel like they're taking from right here.
Okay.
See, looks like, and Squash in the chat is right now saying, oh, okay, this what is this, like Overwatch or something? And you see the hero type abilities, so it does give you that feeling, right?
I would say it's
Like,
more so. Well, go ahead.
but because of the gun and the way that everything is set up, some people are thinking, okay, well, this is maybe more like a Counter Strike with some Overwatch mixed into it. The first thing that got when I saw the art
game was
style of this
loading.
game and the way this character was being played was Paladin.
That's what I was going to
Fucking
say.
high res.
Yeah.
And because it's high res and nobody gives high res credit for shit, they're gonna be like, no, this is brand new. This is something completely different. Blase, blase, blase. But this is the exact same that like I'm jumping ahead of this now before this happens. Like this, if when that happens, it's still be Overwatch all over again because people are like Paladin stole from Overwatch when all they did was steal from themselves. Everything in their game was reused assets with updated graphics from previous games from Planet Side and things like that.
Okay. But you know, Smite
But
got some of their characters from League of Legends.
no, I know. But I'm just saying, like right here, this is high res saying, "Hey, y'all." I mean, this is the guys over at Riot saying, "Hey, y'all did something right, and we're gonna use it." You know.
Mm.
But watch, I'm telling you, the general gaming community is not gonna do it. I'm just wanting to get out there now and saying it like, "Yo, the art style looks like Paladins.
Right.
Some of these abilities, straight up Paladins. Yeah, it's got that TF2 or Counter Strike style of gameplay, but that art style screams Paladins. I forgot the name of the character from Paladins, but it almost looks exactly like one of the characters from Paladins. There's a girl in there that uses a gun that look, and her and this dude named Victor, and they're essentially the Call of Duty knockoff characters, but in the Paladins art style, and that's almost exactly what I thought. I thought I was looking at fucking Paladins at first until I saw the ability come out and was like, okay, well that's clearly not a new Paladins character. But then the guys over at High Res are making a new shooter, and they showed and they showed gameplay from their new shooter months before Valorant. And I'm like, I see that argument happening again because Paladins dropped, and then people were saying that they copied Overwatch, even though they started doing all their stuff before Overwatch did. But because Overwatch was owned by Blizzard, which is a way bigger company, they copied Blizzard.
Right. I mean,
And we saw that already. So I'm like, yo, watch it happen. I see it happening again because High Res has a new shooter game coming out. They showed footage of it. They showed a bunch of gameplay trailers and stuff like that, and it looks dope. And then this game comes out and it looks so similar. And it's either people are seeing what High Res does and then saying, okay, now let's make it better, or High Res is pulling a fucking Patriots and they're filming. They got spies and people fucking gaming studios and they know what's going on. But since I don't think High Res can afford a spy since they can't fix their fucking goddamn launchers, I don't think that's the case.
But at the same time, we already know the story with high res. Like we know they do not they put their hands in too many things instead of trying to focus on one thing at a time. We know this. So it's like you're gonna bring up the argument, but it's like Riot is going to focus on this and they're probably going to do it well. Whereas high res already has paladins, they already have smite, they already have Realm Royale, they're gonna try and make this game, which they're gonna siphon the money from Smite to make it, and then the game's probably gonna go to the wayside within a couple of months. I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Right, I'm just saying, if your fear is that they're gonna steal from Smite resources to make this game or whatever, then I will assuage your fears. You don't have to worry about that because they've already stolen it from Paladins. So Paladins
with what money from Paladins though? That's the
Paladins actually had an esports scene.
Yeah, but they don't anymore. That's the thing. That's what I'm talking about.
Because they quit that so they can steal.
That's what I'm talking about. Look at how much money they. Okay, just to give you a timeline. They were playing for, if I remember correctly, $1 million season 1 for Smite, right? Since season 1 or 0, it has gone down substantially each season. So where's that money going? That tells me that you're not making enough. You're not making enough money in your MOBA to fund your professional scene or to generate enough prize money. So that money's going somewhere. So obviously that money's going to your new shooter that you're making, which my fear is that they're putting all this money into it and they're going to do the same thing. They're going to have a big prize pool the first season or whatever. And it's just going to go downhill from there because their balancing is not the greatest. We know that. I just feel like the people, not everybody. There's some people there that are on their stuff, and then there's just some people there that are incompetent and don't have a pulse on the community as far as the game. But that's just my thing. I feel like they're going to try to make that argument, but we already know the story for Hyrule. Whereas Riot, yes, they do have balancing issues for some of their characters, but they know how to do stuff right.
Yep.
Oh, what's up, Noah?
Yeah, hello.
That's just my whole thing about it. It's just I understand where you're coming from, Sleep. I just don't see that as being I don't see that as going to go well for high-res. Like you said, you had Paladins, you had a scene for it, you cut the scene off. So it's just like, well, what are you gonna do now? You're gonna try to make another MOBA shooter?
Well, I mean, on the other end of that, like Paladins was definitely closer to Overwatch than it was Valorant.
Right.
Like Valorant's the thing I like about Valorant that does make it completely different than every other game is that you can get any gun you want. It's more about gunplay than it is what your character can do because you may be better with this weapon than this weapon, so everybody has access to the same weapons, which I like. And I guess I'll talk to Sleep when he gets here. I think he just has a chip on his shoulder about Paladins not being received as well. That's what it sounded like.
Yeah, this is what it sounds like. But it's
yeah, because like Valorant, like the art style looking like Paladins is nothing. Like it's really how the game's going to be played, and it's already different. It's not going to go the same because you have T1 and Cloud9 people already putting that they're pro Valorant players on their profiles. Like they're already getting paid to play this game, and it's because it's supported by Riot, the company that has the largest esports scene in the world.
Right.
Like it's like apples and oranges versus high-res.
So and that's just
multi-million-dollar tournaments.
Yeah, and that was the thing. Like I said, Smite had $1 million tournament for the very first season. And then
it just went down.
It just went down. So that's
not supposed to happen.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like if you're trying to build a game like that, it's supposed to increase, not decrease. So that's telling me
now you're losing money.
Right. That's telling me you're losing money on the game. I mean, you're just investing on the skin game, whatever. And then that money's going somewhere. So the money went from Smite to Paladins. Then Paladins had a pro scene. And then all of a sudden Paladins pro scene is no longer existent because Paladins. I'm not saying it's a bad game or anything like that. They just didn't have the money to support it. So that's just the way it goes, unfortunately. And with them making another shooter, it's like, yo, you just need to focus on one thing, build it up, and stop putting your hand in so many different.
Yeah, even Riot didn't do that. Like they waited. They had League for I don't know how long, and then they slowly slid TFT in the mix.
Right.
Then they were like, "Oh, we got a card game," and now they're like, "We got short story games too. We got games that are story driven. We got a shooter on the way. We got a fighter on the way." They sat there and watched how the esports environment developed, and then they came in with all the extra stuff, which Hi-Rez didn't do.
Thank you.
And like, and also with that, like starting off with just like pumping, like a lot of these companies, they want that esports scene, and that's why a lot of them fail because they go straight in only catering to the hardcore competitive scene. And when they do that, the actual community dies. You have like 10 players that are better than everyone else that are going to keep playing the game because they're better than everyone else. Then you have the other 5,000 that aren't going to play it anymore because you're only patching to cater to those 10 people. So it's like if you don't have that casual crowd, you're going to have a hard time. That's why Overwatch is still alive because people still get on quick play. Smash is why it's the biggest fighting game in the world right now, is because its casual scene is massive versus its competitive scene. It's that you have to keep those casuals like engaged somehow. And I think Hi-Rez has always done a really crappy job of that.
True. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand you got to balance it for the competitive scene.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Don't get me wrong. I understand that. But the way they went about it and they were so quick to try and roll out so many different things. To be honest,
yeah, they spent millions of dollars on the esports scene before they could even get their casual scene built to get an esports scene. Who gonna watch?
Yeah. And to be honest with you, Realm Royale could have been the biggest thing that they had.
It could have, bro.
Realm Royale could have been the biggest game that they had in the Go ahead.
Realm Royale let me down. It let me down so bad, bro. Realm Royale was the game. Like when I saw Paladins, I was like, I might play it, but whatever. I don't really care. Realm Royale, I was on it. As soon as I heard about it, I was playing it. I was enjoying it. And then like the game just kind of stopped with progress. Like they didn't update, they didn't do nothing. It was just, and then everybody stopped playing it. And I was like, oh, this is sad. Because I was enjoying the hell out of this game.
Well, but once again, it comes back to balancing. They did stuff they didn't need to be doing, essentially.
True.
So that just goes to show. It's just like, you could have had a good thing if you just put a little TLC into it. That could have been your cash cow. Then you could have
a little love.
You could have put some of that money, maybe like 25-50% of what you're making, because Realm Royale would have made you a lot of money. Like on the esports scene, everything like that.
They had big streamers playing that, bro. Right. Like that was the first time I saw. Like I've seen people play Smite, but I never saw a lot of big streamers play Paladins past a week. Right. Then people were playing Realm Royale, dog.
Right. It was what, number 2 in the directory for like solid month or something like that.
It was a whole month. It was like number 2, a top 5 at least. And I'm like, Hi-Rez might have. I was like, this might be their one, and then they Hi-Rez'd it.
Oh man. But yeah, like you said,
nice.
I'll still play Smite. Like I said, it's a fun game to play with people. But like my disdain for Hi-Rez is really high because they effed up so many things that could have went well. Like, I'd like to see the underdog company, make a come up and do something, but when you just repeatedly do dumb shit.
It's hard to support you. Like, it makes it very difficult.
So
I'm looking at my Yacht Club Games card right now because that's one of the best. That's one of the best indie companies I've ever touched. Like, they got Game of the Year as their first game, and then they just continue to pump out content. Yeah, Shovel Knight was Game of the Year when it came out.
Oh yeah, okay. So they made
so. Then they came out with Shovel Knight, but you get to play as Plague Knight, so the game's different. You play as Spectre Knight, you play as King Knight. They're coming out with a mobile game. They're coming out with Shovel Knight Dig, which is a completely different style of play. And I'm like, this is how you indie company. You just build on what made you famous, and then you start to branch out.
Right. Right. But to go to chat, hang on. I mean, we have to understand that Riot has such a huge war chest from League now that they're bringing out 5 new games that they've been working on for 7 years. And you're right, Riot does have some issues about that's just being ambitious. That's the thing, though. They focus, and that's what we're talking about. They focused on one thing that you can develop all you want in the background or whatever, but focus on one
super
thing.
Rich.
Focus on the one thing that you can do well. And then once that thing takes off and it's generating income and you don't have to worry about it, then you can start taking a little bit of that income and putting it into other projects. That's usually how it works. You don't sit there and make a game and then you're like, okay, well, this game was successful, and then we're just gonna go ahead and just start throwing money at this other game, and then okay, this game had a little hype, and then we're gonna throw some money at this other game instead of just working on it as you should and build that game up, so that way you have a fan base. Because I think Smite's community is what, maybe a couple, maybe I would say maybe like 20,000 spitball, maybe 20,000 people, if not a little bit more. I don't think it's a huge community.
You can spend $130 on Smite DLC. Lord have mercy.
I mean, just to give you an example, $100 for a skin. That's $100 for a skin. So,
that's a bit crazy. Yeah.
So yeah, it's just the thing. But the man's back, so I guess you can ask him your question, Ella.
Oh, he's back. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Welcome back, Sleep. So what I was gonna ask was, so I was telling Tack with the whole high-res thing, the difference between them and Riot is Riot has spent almost a decade just piling on money from League before they decided to do anything else. Also, Riot has the largest esports scene in the world and the most money pumping through esports of any company by far. So you can't compare that to Hi-Rez when they come out with Valorant saying this is going to be an esports game, because we already have T1.
You got to add to that. They also have the Tencent behind them. Tencent is the biggest force in gaming right now, bar none. They have so much fucking money. They buy whole companies up just
over in China. Yeah. So they have all of this stuff, and then you already have people who are sponsored by like T1 and Cloud9 and like all these big like top tier esports companies, and they're already considering them Valorant players. Like that's what it says in their profile, pro Valorant player. You didn't see that with Paladin. So I don't think it's fair to compare the two when there's just such a large driving force behind Valorant versus what they had behind Paladins. And I think Paladin set itself up to fail. I don't think that was the people's fault. That was Hi-Rez's fault, 100%.
I'm not knocking.
People didn't play Paladins because Hi-Rez didn't play Paladins. You feel me?
Like, I'm not knocking any of the players or anything like that. But yeah, like I'll say Hi-Rez did a good job with the game, but they mismanaged everything around it, which is par for the course with Hi-Rez, in my opinion. Like, Smite itself, actually playing the game, isn't bad. It's all the shit around playing the game that bothers you. You know?
I thought Paladins was too slow. I had an issue with the gameplay from the get-go.
Really?
Because I think for a shooter, it's too slow. Like, it's made for people who want to play something like Overwatch on a controller a lot. Or on a Switch. Like that's what I thought. That's what I got from Paladins when I played it. It's a great value version. Like, but when you're saying the art style for Valorant looks the same as like Paladins, most shooters look like this now. Like, and I care about the gameplay, not really the main thing about Valorant that's setting it apart for me is the gunplay. Everybody can get the same gun. And it's more about what guns you have.
I brought up Paladins as a reference because Hi-Rez has a new shooter coming out soon as well, and they dropped trailers for it before already. And it's called Rogue Company.
Yeah, but man, anybody can make a trailer. I want to see games.
They show gameplay for it in the trailer.
Is it official gameplay? Like, when is the game coming out is what I'm saying. Because I can render a gameplay video myself, is what I'm trying to tell you. So anybody can do that and then try to lay claim to some shit. And then the actual developers are the ones that gets it working at some other company. So it's hard to say, oh, they stole this or this person did this first, because anybody can render a trailer and make it look like you're doing certain stuff. You've seen the Unreal Engine videos on YouTube and on Facebook and all over the place. It's who releases the game. And Hi-Rez likes to drop the ball. And you made a lot of comparisons. I know you're saying this now, but you made a lot of comparisons to Hi-Rez. That's all you were comparing Riot to at the time. And you can't compare the two. Like, it's too difficult. You have an indie company damn near, and then you have Riot. And the difference is like Riot is going to their balance. Their balance has issues, but they at least take the time to balance every week and try to figure out what's going on. And Riot has that casual crowd. You know what I'm saying? Paladins doesn't really have that casual crowd. They have the Paladins crowd. That's it. So it's just like it's harder to funnel money in when you don't have like who's watching these events. You know what I'm saying? If only the players are the ones playing it. Who's actually watching them?
Dude, I know they're not
going
to
really have that crowd.
Big, and I know they're not going to get big and blow up after this or whatever, because I don't expect that from high risk at all from pretty much anything. It's going to stay a
Me and Tag did from Realm Royale. We thought Realm Royale was going to be something special.
Oh, y'all did?
I really did, bro. It's because how many people were watching the game, yo. Nobody was watching a high-res game like they were watching that one. Like, and people were playing it. Big names kept playing it. And I was like, and then they just didn't balance the game. So it faded away. But I think that was their best chance of doing it big was Realm Royale.
From that game at all. I was surprised that it was still around. And then a year later, I saw Team 4-Star playing it and was like, oh, it's not shut down yet. And that was my last experience with that game. I never expected too much from that game.
I know somebody that still plays it.
Just for the simple fact that when it came out, I always go back to prize money. Just for the fact that when it came out, they really didn't have a scene, but they're throwing up, 100K tournament winnings and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, for a game that's only been out, 2 or 3 weeks, you're already doing these tournaments. I'm like, this is how it usually looks. You get a game like this, and then these tournaments come around, and then it builds itself up from there. But of course,
you gotta have the money to pump into them, though.
High-res being high-res, doing high-res shit, just drop the ball.
We want to be like this company 10 years in, but we're a year in, and then that happened.
They could get there without being. They don't have to stockpile money for 10 years like Riot did, and then get 10 cents.
They don't. Like that's our point.
All they need to do is foster a steam around the damn thing and let it grow naturally. Exactly.
They haven't really built any communities around their games, except Smite. I think Smite has a solid
Smite community is a bunch of salty fucking people.
Well, like, I'm not talking about the toxicity. That's League too. But what I'm saying is a decent number.
I mean, like, you know what I mean? Because you was in the military too. When you say
they're the old heads. The old heads. Yeah.
That's the Smite community. We're a bunch of old crusty ass dudes that have seen war, and we can't go back now to anything normal. So we stay hanging out. Like you sitting there talking about, I'm gonna try the game out. And I'm like, I don't know if I want you to come over there, man.
I want to play Smite, man. I made my mind up because I want to play a MOBA.
Hey, like I said, that's the streets right there, man. That's a bunch of old heads out in the street that's been out on the block for a while, and they got out of jail, and they can't do nothing but street life now. Like that
sound like my people.
Players. That is Smite players right there, man.
Sound like my people. I tried to play League and I didn't like it.
That has seen hell.
I didn't like League at all. So, and then Tez was talking about that PlayStation MOBA that you can play on a controller, but then nobody played it. So I was like, all right, well, there that goes. So I was like, I guess I'll try Smite. I can play that with a controller.
Yeah, we have somebody that plays religiously on it.
Yeah,
you won't be alone.
The game on a controller and it will work fine. It is perfectly designed to play on a controller, and I think that's because of how they have the ability set up. And the only other game I can think of that you could play on a controller that was that well as far as a MOBA is dead now. Paragon.
Oh yeah, I heard about Paragon.
Yeah, Paragon was perfectly playable on a controller. I remember seeing tournaments for that game where players actually showed up to play on the PC and they had like PlayStation controller, and they were doing just fine. It's just traditional top-down, like 3/4 asymmetric thing. That's not friendly to a controller. The only MOBA I seen that had that was the Lord of the Rings one for the PlayStation that died off really fast. Because when they brought it to PC, the PC player base was like, nah, and just quit.
So I don't want to get too far off subject, but if y'all could pick a MOBA, like surrounded around any community or genre you wanted or game style, which one would you pick? Like, would you do like a Dark Souls MOBA? Would you do a Pokemon MOBA?
Well, my answer is clear. I would just bring back Infinite fucking Crisis.
That's not an answer. I need a new one. I need some fresh. I need some fresh on head.
We need
I
fresh
need some
IPs.
fresh on head.
We need new IPs.
Need some fresh.
New IPs, man.
All right. Well, Marvel Battle Arena, essentially. Make a Marvel.
That would be dope. Marvel characters, that would be pretty dope. I'd be with that. It's enough of them.
Yeah.
Right.
And then just like pick the maps, like you can have a 2-lane map, a 3-lane map, and then a domination style map. And then from just that's the league formula. They had that already, but you could change the jungle up to put different minions or mercenaries and stuff like that in there.
Okay.
So and it's a lot of lore you can pull from to do that kind of stuff. Like the
A
jungle
whole lot.
yeah, like the jungle could be the Savage Lands, So you see the stuff from Savage Lands roaming around there in the jungle and whatnot. Instead of you got to kill dragon, you put Fing Fang Foom. I know that's a very esoteric name if you're not a big Marvel person, but it's a big ass dragon essentially still.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can put that in there. And then instead of a Baron, you have Galactus. You kill Galactus, you get the Galactus buff.
That'd be pretty dope.
So it's lots of stuff you can do in there. The character
can have a Secret Wars map.
Yeah. So Secret Wars is your 3-lane map, or you could do Savage Lands as your 3-lane map. You could have, if you do that, I'll say Savage Lands be your 3-lane map, and then with like, you could say it got put in the middle of New York City, some shit like that. It's a MOBA. You can make up a bullshit story, whatever. And then you can have fucking top lane be like Yancey Street or something like that. I don't know. One base be the Avengers Mansion, the other base be like Magneto's Asteroid M or something. Like
it could be Red Skull's base. It could be anything, bro.
Yeah,
we could like the possibilities are
you can do with that,
Yeah,
like
pretty broad.
50, 60, 70 something fucking years of history to pull from. You'd be fine. The characters already have roles that they lend themselves to, like Wolverine, Black Panther, and whatnot. Those characters they could be great junglers, Fucking, you need a tank, fucking the Thing, the Hulk, or whatever. They could be bruisers or they could be tanks. Or
Spider-Man could be an ADC.
I'm saying Spider-Man would be a great jungle. Gank the shit out of somebody.
Spider-Man would
he would have good movement options. Ultimate. And then you got Venom and Carnage in the mix too. Probably would also.
Yeah,
well, Venom would probably be a tank.
Yeah, exactly. You can make multiple versions of the same character with slight adjustments, and it's fine. Because they have different. You could say Miles Morales has a different kit than Peter Parker does.
Mm-hmm.
You could say Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman, has a different kit than Silk has. So
Silk was always one of my favorites.
You in there, they have fun and be fine with that stuff.
It's just Infinite Crisis with Marvel instead of DC. Final Fantasy MOBA.
Hey, don't you tell him what I'm doing, bro. Why you
get somebody snitching?
I need them to bring it back. I need. Oh man, that game was so good.
What about our 3v3 job? Sleepwood choose Infinite Crisis. Yep, knew it. I like how 2 people called you out. Like how 2 people call you out for it.
Let's see. Oh, Red Wolf, Final Fantasy MOBA, easy day.
That would be my choice.
That's a Final Fantasy MOBA would be crazy good.
I mean, you already have the 7 remake. You just make it like that for all the characters.
And you know you'd get the dev support because of Final Fantasy 14.
100%.
You know you'd get it.
Third person, I'm with it.
Yo, just the name Final Fantasy attached to that mobile would be enough. Like you would.
It would make it sell.
You just say Final Fantasy
and put a date under it, bro, and it would get pre-ordered.
And be like $20 for the character pack, and people would be like, "All right, done." Because on day one, you're gonna have somebody that's like, "I'm a Cloud main," you know. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I ain't playing nobody but Odin. They better get out of here.
Oh, Bleach MOBA, yo. So if you have if you have Warcraft Reforged or the original Warcraft 3, there's actually a mod map in there that's essentially a Bleach MOBA, and that I thought that was all I played besides the original Dota on that damn thing.
Bleach has enough characters with the 13 core guard squads and Ronkar and all that stuff. So
yeah, like that was all I played. I remember playing Jungle and playing freaking Grimjaw like all day, just danking the shit out of people with Grimjaw. That was so. But yeah, you can do that with most anime. Hell, you can make a Naruto and it'd be fun.
Yeah, I wanted a Digimon MOBA.
That would be
enough. It's enough Digimon out there.
That would be interesting. Yeah. Oh, there's more than enough Digimon. I'm just trying to figure out.
Because you can just.
Do you put a Digivolve mechanic in the game or not? You know, that's the type of thing.
With level ups, I mean, you could. Cho'Gath grows in League. Like, why couldn't you? They Digivolve. Like, or it could just be a stage in the game where all Digimon Digivolve. So like, it's just that stage in the game.
How about this as I'm just shooting a random concept out. Have y'all played Heroes of the Storm?
Yep.
Yes, I was a Deckard.
Heroes of the Storm, you pick abilities and instead of items, right? So what if they did it like that with the Digimon one? You pick abilities, and as you pick your abilities, it determines what your Digivolution path can be.
I'm fine with that.
I have no issues with that.
Like, yeah, I think a progression system within the MOBA is necessary. Every MOBA has it. I just think in Digimon you can use the Digivolution and Digivolution tree process to reflect that. Like, yeah, I think it would be dope.
You gotta have Digivolving, because if not, then why the hell you even have, like, you know, it might as well be Pokemon or something if you're not gonna Digivolve. Like,
you can use what's his name, Chimeramon for like the dragon and stuff. The one that's made from all different Digimon. And you can set it all like in a digital world, like it's on the internet.
Yeah. No, I get you. So it would be dope. I just was like, as a just a concept, like let's shoot it real quick and see what we can come up with.
Would you rather it be a top down or a third person?
So Digimon, I would probably rather it be a third person than a top down. Just so I could stare at my Digimon in awe, you know what I'm saying? That's pretty much it. I mean, you can always zoom in on League, but it looks weird when it's top down. So I just I would love for it to be third person. And depending on the Digimon types, because you have this gets a little super Digimon nerdy because like they didn't talk about this much.
Like virus types.
But you got your virus types, your antidotes, like your antivirus type Digimon, that type of stuff. So that could start going into your builds and what your team's going to focus on. Like what they call them, vaccine Digimon. That's what they call them.
Yeah.
Vaccine Digimon. Like those are the Digimon that really mess up viruses. So it's like, I think they could go in a lot of depth with counterplay, with Digivolution chains.
Yeah, especially with like the word Greymon them, because there's certain ones that, like you said, to get really nerdy on the lore and whatnot, like certain people have like stuff that's specifically made to F up other specific Digimon, like the whole anti-dragon thing they have going in Digimon, or the digital metal from the beginning of time, like all that. Like there's all kinds of weird Digimon lore that you can mix in there that would give people essentially abilities that cross certain class and Digivolution spreads.
But, I would like that.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
And then to go back to what you were saying earlier, Nella, I think it'd be too hard to balance a Pokemon MOBA, excuse me. I think that might be a little bit too difficult to balance, especially, you have the rarity.
Just because, that's true.
Super effectiveness and all that other stuff. So I wouldn't really see that as a MOBA.
I mean, they made a Pokemon fighting game based off Tekken's fighting engine.
Right.
People still play it. That's why I usually don't put nothing past Game Freak. Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's fine. It's just a
Hey, that
mode.
wasn't Game Freak. They just licensed that out. That was harder and
Yeah, but still, they were like, yeah, that's why it's called poking. But it was still, we're gonna take Pokemon, and they didn't say you got to make things super effective. They were just like,
Right.
oh well, we trust you, Harada-san, handle business.
Oh yeah. Just make it ability based and pick sets, and like every 3 or 4 levels, you pick a new ability, and then that ability, like, all right, so
Well,
you
the
pick
cap
up
would
to
be at
3
20,
abilities
right?
by 9.
The level cap would be 20.
Right.
So every five,
Yeah.
you pick an ability. Every 5 levels.
That makes sense.
Well, all right. So I get what you're saying on that, but I was just thinking, like, all right, so every 3 or 4 levels, you can pick an ability, and then at like 10 and at 20, you digivolve essentially. So you would start off at rookie, then you would go to the next, and then you would get your final one when you finally,
Right.
and that's how you fit the digivolution in with the abilities, is what I was thinking. So it'd be like 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and then 18, you get abilities, but at 10 and 12, 10 and 20 is when you
I
get
see what you're
Okay,
saying.
okay,
I see
I
what
got
you're
you.
saying. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. I might have been looking a little bit about that too much, I realized.
No, in the jungle too, you could throw the Celestials in there. You could throw the 3 divines, Cherubimon, Seraphimon, and I can't remember the cat's name.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
But yeah, you have those wouldn't be playable, of course, even though Angemon is my guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I would love to run middle lane as Beelzebumon or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that would be awesome.
It would
Or
just
as Infermon, like something like that. I'd be killing it.
I mean, it
shout out
wouldn't.
to everybody's favorite Digimon, huh? So all right, so while we on the subject, what are y'all favorite Digimon?
Patamon and his entire chain. Seraphimon's my favorite, but Patamon.
Okay. Tat, do you have a favorite Digimon?
Bro, it's been so long since I've remember Digimon. What was it not was
Trust me, I know them all, so I can help you.
Is it Garurumon? the one that has
The werewolf?
the wolf, yeah.
That's Garurumon. Starts off as Gabumon.
Yeah, that's my dude.
Garurumon, Metal Garurumon.
I like that too, because I liked it Matt more than I liked
Ty. I liked Ty more than I liked Matt.
I like Matt more than I like Ty because he was essentially a kid Seto Kaiba in my head, man. Like he was.
That's what Matt was. He was Kaiba, and I just was not feeling it.
Fucking on Yugi, man, and I like that.
Cherubimon's an awesome choice, Ninja. That starts off as
a kid. I'm the one that's the main character. I was like, yeah, you tell him.
I can't remember his name. I know it digivolves into it has the machine guns for hands. Oh, it's you, Dota? Ninja 4? Yeah, so machine guns his hands. What is his name?
I know you're talking about. He has the bandoliers across.
Yeah, his rookie form. His rookie form has the horn on his head, 3 little horns. I think that one can become Cherubimon, and so can, of course, his brother from the movie. But yeah, I like him, and I've always liked him. I thought he was dope. But Patamon has always been. Rapidmon is the one with missiles. So Rapidmon is the mega form.
Oh, Terriermon.
Red Wolf. Terriermon. That's it. Terriermon. Terriermon is the name. Can fly with his ears. Yeah. Or glide, rather. Yeah, Rapidmon's the mega form.
Then he changes to Rapidmon and just starts blasting cats all day. Yeah. I like
TK was my favorite.
From that series, Renamon was my favorite from that series. Renamon.
Oh gosh, man, you like edgelords, bro.
I mean, his name on TFT
was so cool.
His name on TFT is Seto Kaiba, so.
Cool. Oh my god.
Hey,
his name on
second-rate duelist of the third-rate deck. Guillermo was awesome. I love that.
Hey, shout outs to my boy Kaiba. He showed up in a jet shaped like a Blue Eyes White Dragon, so you knew what he was finna fucking play in his deck, and he would give you cards and still whoop your ass. Shout outs to that kid, man. That boy was hard, man. He said, make a deck that don't suck. Use whatever cards you want. Hey, there you go. Ace said it best. Questionable choices, man. That's this episode. There you go. I'm living up to it.
Right. Oh man. But yeah, this it's interesting to say the least. Oh my goodness! But I don't know if it would actually. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if that becomes as far as the Digimon, uh, the Digimon MOBA. Would not surprise
You
me.
could do a Power Rangers one too, low key.
But
It's enough
I would
characters.
actually would tag Garurumon was my favorite one just because it was a kickboxing werewolf. I thought that was dope.
Magna Angemon had me. Angemon already had me feeling some type of way when he messed up Devimon and turned back into an egg. But yeah, when Magna Angemon hit the scene and was an ultimate hanging with Megaforms, I was like, oh yeah, this is my guy. But then you find out that's because he's one of the divine Digimon. He's supposed to become Seraphimon, which is ridiculously powerful.
Ace, to answer your question, I guess you missed it earlier. We were talking about a streamer bringing a gun on stream and it discharging.
Oh man!
And
oh man, Jeremy owns a repair shop as a guitar string repairman and has 2 brothels. Holy shit, Jeremy, you doing good, bro?
see.
No, he's saying us. If I had to guess your names and ages and jobs.
Yeah, I know.
Jeremy, you're 47.
Oh, wait, Jeremy,
you're 47, yes. You work 2 jobs. You're a guitar string repairman and you own 2 brothels.
Dang.
Appreciate it, man. I'm pimping out here. Right.
I mean, Sleep do kind of look like all the gangsters looked in Samurai Champloo that own brothels. Like, he do kind of got that look.
Pimping, baby.
Comic store manager. Hey, I'm with it. Cigarettes. Yo, I got the goods.
Now I got to turn the camera on.
Oh, well, Dave way young over there. All
Davey,
right.
28, works 2 jobs. Hey,
It's like,
I mean the young money hand rub.
Birdman hand rub, you know what I'm saying?
hands, oh Lord.
No, but that's like I said, that when you watch the movie and Panama starts skipping over straight to Seraphimon.
Yeah. Well, that's bad because in the movie, Patamon and Gatomon knew how to warp Digivolve at that point. Basically, what Agumon and Gabumon were doing.
Yeah, the 4th Digivolution was
where they just go straight to Mega.
Yeah.
Did you don't play Mortal Kombat, do you, Nella? I think that's the
I have it. I play it, but I don't play it. You feel me?
What did you think about the Spawn?
Oh, I want to play Spawn. That's when I'm gonna come back to the game. But I'm just gonna play it for fun. Like Mortal Kombat for me, like it doesn't matter how many cool characters they put in, I guess, just because Mortal Kombat at its core is usually why I get bored of it. And with Mortal Kombat 11, they managed to keep me interested much longer than MKX. I will give them that. But it's just with the way the game works, I usually have minimal excitement. It's just that this character's in the game, not necessarily I can't wait to play them in Mortal Kombat.
Right.
And I feel like that should be a feeling I should have. Like, can't wait to play this character in MK. It's just, I can't wait to play this character.
Yeah, that was when I wanted to get your thoughts on, because I was like, oh, Spawn's in the game. Cool.
I'm an escort.
Cool. Spawn's in the game.
That's hilarious.
He said the same thing that most people have been telling me, which is, yeah, it's not that I can't wait to go play Mortal Kombat again. It's like, no, I can't wait to play Spawn. Like, it's essentially Spawn featuring the Mortal Kombat cast, right? You know?
You right? I mean, the stuff did look over the top. It just should.
Yep.
The machine guns, and then his fatality ripping your skin. It just suited the character really well. I was like, well done.
I like the references to Scorpion when they had their little convo at the beginning. That was a very smart thing to put in the game.
Right. They said.
What do y'all think about the MK series is dropping?
MK series? What do you mean?
Oh, I guess let me send you a trailer.
That's new to me. The MK series.
Let me send you a trailer tag. So NetherRealm Studios is working on their own original series, animated series.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guy in the middle of his name is Father Earl. He is 45 and works as an escort at Jeremy's brothel. And on the side,
yeah, it's called Scorpion. So it was called Scorpion's Revenge, and when I saw that name, I had an issue with it. I was like, Scorpion's Revenge. Scorpion got enough screen time, let's focus on everybody. But that's not really what it means. Everybody's in this. Okay. And here's the trailer. But it is rated R. Like, it's NetherRealm Studios, like, adult series that they're making for Mortal Kombat.
The only thing I drink is water and ginger ale, to be honest. I don't eat a whole lot of fat. Mostly salads and fish. More of a pescatarian, if anything. To answer your question, Platinum.
So I got kids, so I gotta cook. Like, can't be eating out all the time when you got kids like that. It's not healthy. So
I don't eat out. It's like usually if I meet Five Guys maybe once every few months, but I don't really eat out like that. I cook.
But
I don't drink soda at all. Like, no soda.
I drink soda, but
I used to be fat, man. I don't want to be fat no more.
Don't want to go back.
Yeah.
I drink soda and stuff like that, but I drink a crap ton of water. But the military kind of beats it into you. I can't live without drinking at least a gallon and a half or 2 gallons of the water a day. Like, that's how I go.
Me and my wife are talking about getting a water cooler, bro. That's how much water we run through in here a day. We were like, we need to get a water cooler. This just ain't gonna work.
But yeah, Nelly, go ahead and drop that trailer. But
no, I'm saying you can watch that on your own time. That's not necessarily for the show.
Oh, that's what
I already put it. Yeah, you already put it in the DM.
Okay, cool. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for our time.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it for our time. But gentlemen, if you guys want to go ahead and let people know where they can find you, the event that.
All right. Go ahead and Ace, appreciate the follow. Before I give the shout out to myself, I'm going to say thank you for that. You can see me on Twitch at Boy86. Link will be in the description as usual. You can also find me on Twitter at Sleepyboy713. And yeah, look forward to seeing y'all around either there or see you back on here next week.
You can find me on Nelatrey Game at Nelatrey Gaming on Twitter. I talk a lot of shit on there, so I mean, yeah, that's about it. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Nelatrey. I haven't been on recently, but I will be on soon. Other thing is another Twitch channel I run is twitch.tv/Team Kepri. Kepri spelled Khepri. That's my tournament channel. Every other Saturday, we have Rivals of Aether tournaments, and eventually we'll be having Street Fighter 5, Tekken, all that other good stuff as well. If you check that channel out, there will be a lot of online tournaments going on there in the future. That's all I got.
And just to sum everything up, in case you guys didn't know, we have now been approved for iTunes. So we are now on every platform that I can think of for the most part. So guys missed the podcast live, you can play iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, anything else that you may think of are probably on there. Boy's birthday is tomorrow. I'll be trying to hang out with as many people as I can throughout the day. We'll be doing a personal live stream of the bar crawl that's happening this weekend, the St. Patty's Day bar. See,
nice.
Here in the lovely city of Charlotte. I'll be trying to run it as long as possible until my phone dies. But other than that, we are out of here, and we'll see you all next week. And care and blessed and safe. We're out. Later.